5, 4, 3.
All right, we're live.
It's what?
We're live.
We're live right now? All right. Some different lights.
1, 2, 3,
That's fine either way.
4.
Just curious. It's a little bit
brighter.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. Welcome to this week's episode of the Dream Show Live. Stephen Aiken, your host. Isaac Stackhouse, the producer, engineer, mixing, soundboard, controller, scheduler, booker, guy, camera yeti, amongst other things. Yeah,
What to do?
man, a bunch of things.
Yeah,
You know.
we kind of flew in here on the fly.
Yeah, sorry, trying to live a life with children and doing other things. Like Charlie has an eye appointment today, and then it's like, oh yeah, also that's right at the same time that we're supposed to do the show.
The
live.
show thing.
Yeah, and then of course Thomas can't get ready and enough time to do anything. But whatever, that's like I said, that's just the way things are, and it is what it is. Dude, just kind of thing to comment on is that I have really started to chill out more from being in competition mode.
I saw your post with the flowers.
I mean, that stuff's chill. I mean, I've been trying to do that anyway throughout, I guess, the last few weeks of all that anyway, because, like, it's last year at the start of, like, I guess 2020 or whatever, I got bored and was kind of just didn't have anything to do at the start of the pandemic or whatever, and just, like, ripped all the bushes for the most part out of the front, and we never put anything back down. And so finally this year, like, I was like, all right, I want to like plant some little rose bushes or something here to get some flowers and stuff going, and they're starting to bloom. Most of them are doing well. One of them's a little bit is struggling a little bit, but I think it's gonna pull through.
Yeah.
Just 1 out of 6 is having a hard time on the rebound, but that's okay. We get some pretty flowers out there, and I don't know, it's weird being the memes that you see about the white people with their bird feeders or whatever. I'll just find myself just staring out the window at these birds, and they're just eating the bird feed. Like, we go through like 7 pounds of bird seeds a week out there.
What's your favorite kind of bird to watch right now, Steven?
Dude, it's honestly, there's a bunch of different ones that kind of are coming around, and it's pretty little cardinals that are out there, and the female cardinals are really interesting because everybody thinks the cardinal is the bright red, that's the male, but the females are more brown, but they have like some red like features a little bit that's different. So those are cool. But then it's funny to watch, like, which ones are, like, bullying the other ones, sort of. Because some of them can, like, flex on others, but then the other one will come, and then that'll, like, scare them off. There's, like, some doves that come that, like, bully off these little small birds. I'm not sure what they are yet. And then the brown thrasher will come through and just, like, swooping off fast and run everybody off.
That's a sparrow, and the little ones you're talking about, the sparrow, isn't it?
I'm not sure. They're just little
Or
tiny.
a mockingbird, maybe?
No, it's not a mockingbird because they don't eat the seeds like that.
Oh, okay.
They're more of a
They go for the worms,
sweets,
right?
nectar kind of stuff. Yeah.
Man, you're really, like, reading into this stuff.
I mean, because we have a hummingbird feeder here, but it's not really been getting hit on. But in San Diego, the one that we had it got visited a lot. So it's just cool. It's nature. It's whatever, And then there's rabbits that come up and they'll eat some of the ones that they've dropped on the ground. So we got 2 or 3 rabbits that'll visit early in the morning or whatever. So yeah, it's cool. It's fun to just sit there and watch that stuff and let it be, how they're gonna figure out the pecking order, so to say.
Right.
And I don't know. See, they'll keep coming back, and for a couple of years, hopefully. And they keep getting these big fat birds. Yeah, I don't know, because I think there was a pair of cardinals that were here last year, and they're still there. I think it's the same ones. I assume it's the same ones. Like they went and came back, maybe.
Like the little family of cardinals.
Right, maybe so. And now they're just like, oh, we got this definite food source here, so we're gonna just like chill when we come back to this area. I don't know. There's a bunch of them. There'll be like 20 birds out in the yard, just various ones just like spread out, looking around and stuff. That's what I do. This is how I get off now.
This is your in between time.
Right, this is what I do when I'm not
Da
trying to
Vinci
kill people.
Dave is in here putting up tents, saying,
man.
"Coach
This guy.
Dad."
I mean, yeah, you know, all that kind of stuff too. Definitely trying to figure out that balance, man. It's so stupid and hard how to be a good parent and then good business owner and coach for everybody else too.
I think the kid. I mean, we talked about this on the last show. Like, I think the kids sometimes see a lot of your example, and then you get to kind of show them the way.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully so. It's still definitely a little bit frustrating balancing the, you know, them understanding the time that you need to do stuff and understanding that you need like space to think and get stuff done, especially if if I'm trying to be creative in any kind of way. It's hard to get anything done if there's other like extra stuff going on kind of. So I need to either be like on or off sort of in that mode. So that's what I'm trying to figure out scheduling wise, basically, that excuse me like times and days that are going to be the best during the summer to make it work. And like this weekend, obviously, of course, you know, you make all these plans sometimes to do like really crazy fun things or whatever, or plan all this stuff. So Friday we went to Auburn since we didn't get to do the seminar deal, and he like sprained his foot or something, basically.
Oh, those trampoline parks.
Yeah. And like couldn't put any weight on it the next day or the night of, and then like literally whatever. And so then it's like, well, we can't go camping if you can't walk, bro. So then like the whole big part of the weekend, at least like I was thinking, is like we're gonna go out there and like, you know, go out to the lake and stuff and go camping. We didn't even get to really pull off, but it's okay. We'll figure it out.
Hey, that land's not going anywhere. There's
No,
always a
I know.
place to
That's
camp.
what I say. Is like it just kind of threw a wrench into the overall like plan of everything. So yeah. So it just kind of is what it is. You got to like pivot again and try to do the next thing. You know, we still have that trip that we're taking them on this summer. So they're gonna get to go to Costa Rica July.
Oh, are they getting to go?
The one that I'm doing in July.
Oh, the
where I'm
first
going.
one,
Yeah,
okay.
and that's kind of one of the reasons that we're doing that is because the big one in October got so big, then it was like we're definitely not gonna have time to spend like with them that much and be like present during that week.
Right.
So we figured out a way to get down there to it, and we're going to go to a different place. We're going to go to I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Samara. It's a different, you know, it's more northern on the Pacific coast than where we go typically in Manuel Antonio, to a different place. And so yeah, they're going to get to go there for a week this summer. And dude, I don't know, man. I guess when I was going to from first to second grade, if I would have gotten to travel like internationally and go visit this really cool place, I don't know. I feel like
Bro, all the travel that my parents took me on as a kid was 100% like part of what turned me into the adult that I am. Like,
well,
I guess that's an okay thing.
I was about to say, is that good? No, but that's what I mean. No, but seriously, like that's the thing is like I want them to be able to experience those things. Like that's part of the whole deal. Is like I feel the need to create these types of situations that they can be able to go to and do and see things. That way they'll have a better perspective of at least more of the world, if not, you know, because you can not the whole world obviously, but like at least more of it than you would stay in your little box that you grow up in typically. You know, even if that's a big city, if you only stay in that one big city, you're still pretty limited mentally. Yeah, you know, I think that's true. And there's nothing wrong with that, so to say. But for me, I like the broadening horizons kind of mindset. You know, bit of a gypsy man, and I say that joke a lot, but we are. We're kind of like, we kind of have gypsy souls. We want to kind of ramble to some degree. I don't know if that's normal or not, but I think there's a lot of people that kind of want to do that.
Yep.
And just don't, I don't know, don't try hard enough to do it, or can't figure out a way to do it somehow. I don't know. Or just don't want to keep resetting. I think that's the biggest thing. Like,
I think unfamiliarity of like going from a sure thing or going to something that's, you know, in that realm that they feel uncomfortable with.
Yeah, I think, yeah, for sure. And the familiarity, that the comfort is, that's it, right?
Good or bad.
It's comfort, right? It's comforting. You're used to it. It's safe. You know what's coming up. There's nothing going to surprise you. You know, typically your job, your, you know, whatever it is, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a grind. You know, it could be something that you enjoy, but you're pretty married to it, you know, so you have to kind of do that. That may be, you could not have to do that stuff too. Like, you don't have to do the same thing forever. You know, I don't know. I feel like most people evolve that way, like over time in their life. Most people don't stay the same. I don't think. I think, you know, you kind of just, I don't know. Even if you don't do the thing, like I said, even if you don't move or whatever, or go chase down the next big thing or whatever, I think people still shift, like through the course of their life, into other interests and hobbies or whatever, even if it's within the same fields, sort of.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm an entirely different person than who I was 5 years ago. So like it may not be a physical place, but it may be something different.
Yeah, yeah. So that's just saying, it's all very interesting and relative. And I don't know where we went to get.
Oh man,
to that,
we sprung off on that. I was following you down the wormhole.
Yeah, just crazy talking.
But I mean, you're going after the dream show is the name of the show. The name of your stuff has been The Dream, and then like you're legit doing. I talked to a buddy of mine that was like watching all the stuff we're doing and all the things I got going on, and he's like, bro, it's like you're living the dream.
Trying,
like,
man, we're
kinda.
trying. I'm trying. That's what I keep saying. It's like I'm trying, and if I feel like if I can keep like helping create opportunities, then there'll be more opportunities. That's it. You know, just the ideas and like this. I'm sorry, this whole thing, like it's just, I don't know. We're just doing it, and it's working. It's paying off, and people are, you know, getting traction behind it, and you know. It's funny, like we kicked back off the page on the Instagram for the camp. I built it a couple years ago, like in 2019 or something, the first time that we were going to try to sell it. And it's just funny to see some of the you know, the way that I was trying to get it out and hoping to try to get something, you know, no idea what we were doing at that point for sure. But now over the course of like another 2 years of like work that's been put in by a couple of us or a few people, we now, you know, we got some stuff going on. We know a little bit about like customs and international like shipping and making contacts with, you know, manufacturing companies, and trying to make, you know, connections down in Costa Rica where we could have the match shipped, you know, once they're delivered internationally, and the tariffs paid, you know, just all those different kind of things are I don't know, it's a new skill set that you're having to pick up and develop. And thankfully I'm not having to do all that stuff, but it's still having to kind of work with it and grow with it and do all that stuff. So it's, I guess, kind of the thing with the kids and with myself and Mandy, of course, too, and other people, is like once we're building these things out, there could be like jobs in this industry, the field, jiu-jitsu, if that's the martial arts world that we live in, or our version of it, you know, that we have. There'll be jobs for people that they can make a living too doing jiu-jitsu stuff. They may not be the coach, but they could be, you know, the camera person that starts off with it and then becomes somebody that produces videos or whatever, or they're a gym manager, or they there could be like just this thing. There could be the person that's the camp. They build the systems for the camps or whatever that help people, flow to and from, or just there's tons of background things that we all need help with that people don't think about that make a gym business successful first of all, but just like especially something that's trying to where we're trying to do these other things with the Mid-South and then the camp in Costa Rica, and then hopefully bringing some of those style camps maybe to the area down here in other locations where it could be more remote maybe even, and make it a cultural kind of thing down here in the way that other things are working other ways, like some of the ideas that you have. I would love to see some of that stuff start to pop off, and I think we got to just do some of these other things first, and we're doing it, and then and it's going to work to make it to where the culture is what it is, and we're going to like help directly influence it quite a bit. So that's exciting. That's really exciting about everything going forward. But it is a heavy workload to balance all the things and trying to also still be learning new information and being a student of, like I said, these other fields that I'm trying to, or not even that I'm trying to pick up, but that you have to cover the bases of as you're moving and navigating through it. We're trying to find sponsors or talking to these businesses for different, references and things like that. And the catamaran company, there's just so many different things that it's funny. You're trying to talk your way through, and it could end up being, just $150 or $200, positive or negative. But if you just kind of lose that every time over 20 interactions, that's a big loss to your business and profit line or dollar, and so you won't be able to do another one. So you gotta.
Everybody wants to be in charge till they're in charge.
Right. Does that, dude? So be careful what you ask for sometimes.
Yep.
Right. Sometimes you say you want this thing, and sometimes you say you want to do this, and then when the thing starts getting put at you, it's, man, I've wanted to run from it a couple of times. Like there's been a couple of times that's made me want to shrink and like get away from it because it feels too heavy for me, and like it's too much for someone like me to be doing all these things. And there's people better than me that could do this, or there's people that whatever. And it's like, nah, you have to double down and know that you are capable, and if not, then figure out how to be capable. Like that's what I was saying. We started it in 2019 whenever we were trying to do the first one for sale. The first idea was to have like Boogie be able to do it, but he wasn't able to commit, and then it was going to be maybe Brandon to be the headliner for it or whatever. And then we couldn't pull it together. Like I couldn't pull together the camp. I didn't have whatever the pitch right. I didn't have the people in place for it. I didn't have something wasn't, I don't know, maybe I wasn't confident enough in stuff.
I mean, that was the first time you pitched it at that point, right? That was like your first like shot.
Yeah, this is the first time I was going after it. I didn't know anything about what I was doing at all. And like I said, I didn't really have the connections on making it go. And then we kind of just pivoted there, though. I was like, all right, I'm just going to try to do it myself. I think I've talked about it a few times, but then we ended up with like 6 or 7 people, mostly people that were like really good friends. So it ended up just being kind of like a buddy trip, but it was really, really fun. Everybody bonded. We got a lot of information. Everybody was sharing their own techniques with each other and like the philosophy. And it was cool for me because some of the time we were sitting around, I could just try to turn off and let them just have their own opinion, and that's cool because it could be a lot to sit around all the time and have to be the one that's in charge of the situation vibe wise or being right or not letting, I don't want to dominate the opinion circuit in a place like that, so it was really fun that we were able to do it. And then that gave me like some social proof, I guess. We had some pictures, some videos, some testimonials from a few people that went. And so then we tried to sell it last year. Obviously COVID shut it down, but we had sold a small camp. We had already sold like 12 people, but that was gonna be all I wanted to do because it was just gonna be smaller on purpose. It was just gonna be me teaching, stuff like that. And then this year, I don't know, it just seemed to take off. We got involved with Mary, and she kind of, when she posted about it, it basically started almost selling like automatically. So Mary with Dogfight Dojo, like thanks to Mary, she hooked it up big time. And anytime she talks about it, we'll pick up 10 or 12 followers and stuff from just like a basic kind of post about it. So it's like she's giving us a lot of like
street cred.
Yeah, for sure. The influencer thing in that is strong.
So does that mean we're part of the cool kids?
At least the cool kids are telling people that we're cool.
That's all you need.
I guess
they'll show up to your party then.
That's it, right? I mean, for sure they're showing up, and so we filled it up, dude, for the most part, quickly, and then extended it again after we filled it up to like a few more spots, and then that's kind of just maxed out again. It's like we even flirted with the idea of doing another week,
stacking them on
just
top.
back to back, but it just seems. To me, that made me seem nervous and like it's too much.
Well, from a business standpoint too, like you cheapen your product there at that point. So like it being sold out, having the week, fill out the week. Okay, then next time you just get on then you have the next infrastructure come in, and the next, and then the next, and then I think it's a good thing.
We're trying, but we got to make sure we have the other coaches in the right spot because the other people can't stay for 2 weeks always either because they have their own respective businesses. So you just got to make sure that you're doing your proper, P's and Q's on stuff. But we're gonna do another one anyway.
Right.
After October, it'll probably be we don't know, sometime springish, whenever a good time in the season is next year there. But we're thinking about probably doing the next one at the volcano down there. There's a beautiful volcano.
There's a volcano there?
Yeah, and it's at a beautiful lake.
Is it inactive?
No, I don't think this one is. It's not. I don't think it'll blow up, but it might.
Can I see some lava?
You could, I don't know, pull it up.
I'll pull it up. I'll work on it. Keep talking about it.
Yeah. So we're looking into it more. I haven't been there yet. That's the thing. So that's another deal. Is like I'm trying to plug in some more experiences for myself too. Try to get some more experience in. I've never been to a volcano. I'm sure lots of people have. If you've been to places that have them, we've never taken the time to. So we're gonna go check that out. Hopefully, if we can get it put together. But I think it's R&L. Right?
Do what?
I think it's R&L.
R&L?
ARENAL, I think.
Yeah. ARENAL volcano, 5,000 feet.
Is it active?
I'm getting there.
Internet?
Yeah. Interwebs. Is it still active? Although currently in a resting phase, Arnal, how we say
That's how I say it.
remains the country's most active volcano.
Run it.
For the first 43 years since 2010. However, the volcano's seismicity. Yeah, there we go. Explosions and lava flows have decreased significantly. So maybe not any lava, but
we'll see. We'll check it out. We're going to look into it. That's what we're looking into right now. Is part 2 or part whatever. Moving the show a little bit around. That way we don't burn out the same place. But we're going to try to have something semi-permanent in Manuel Antonio with Lorenzo from Manuel Antonio Surf School, and also BJJ Manuel Antonio. We're gonna try to, with the mats, hopefully he'll have a space that he can like do more jiu-jitsu full time, because right now he's just doing it in his aunt's yoga studio after hours, but it's kind of hard to do it there during regular time because they're doing spa treatments and stuff, and the floor is above where they do a lot of the treatments, and so we're all like banging around and stuff, making too much noise. Because
nothing says relaxing like listening to jiu-jitsu on the other side of the road.
Throwing down right upstairs. So maybe we can help with that too, and then he can start setting up more jiu-jitsu full time to the the community there. But also we can do some more of these kind of things too. Go to the volcano. We can come back to Manuel Antonio. If people like to fish, apparently like Quepos is like the city right next to it is a huge like sport fishing.
I would
like,
imagine. I would imagine there's amazing fishing down there.
super duper sport fishing stuff. There's tons of waterfalls down and around that area. So we're gonna try to take a waterfall trip, hopefully if we can find the time, on a little ATV cruise or something like that in October, just to get one of the experiences. We got the catamaran booked for the closing ceremonies on Friday. Dude, this thing is going nuts. It's crazy. So that's one of the things I'm most excited about. Outside of the gym going forward, we got several people now. It looks like that we're starting to look to do a first or another competition for the first time in a while. We did one last year as a team. Now it looks like we're trying to bring back another one for sometime in July. That's gonna be pretty cool. Trying to figure out what it looks like to get a little bit of a competition team, like put together maybe here in Perry. It's gonna be fun. We really haven't really put the gas pedal down totally as a team because we're just trying to build the skills first before everybody goes berserk, and then now we can kind of start splitting off a little bit for some of that hardcore training because the people are figuring out who wants to do what.
Da Vinci Dave wants to know when we're going to learn that mean left hook from your knee.
Man.
And Keelan's mastery of editing was pretty funny too.
Yeah, and apparently that's Evan too.
Is that Evan?
Yeah.
Was that Evan? Did that?
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
He likes it. He thinks it's a meme. It's cool. I mean, it's definitely memeable. I don't know. Dude, it's funny. Like, it's funny now, but that would have made me super mad if I was in.
I would have been in a fight.
Yeah, like
probably personally.
Apparently, the kid that did it, they definitely were told different rules side to side. But versus what was legal and not legal. So the kid was operating within the rules, and for sure it's been proven kind of, I guess, through text messages and stuff that were shown or something. The kid they thought
what he understood
what
to be
they
the
understood
rules.
the rules to be. So he wasn't being like malicious or necessarily whatever.
No, okay.
But I wouldn't have known that. And
which I mean, cool. If those are the rules you want to play by, we fighting now, dog.
It would have just been a different game, though. That's what I'm saying. Is like, so
right? It's a different thing.
And I guess that's one of the things too. I guess we can kind of lean in a little bit about, and something I've talked about with people, and that I really want to try to be able to do as a coach with the competition stuff is like trying to be an advocate for your guys, for your students that are under you, and not letting them be forced into a no-win situation by someone or a promoter that's not having their best interest at heart. I mean, and I know that typically promotion doesn't care much about the athlete or the fighter.
Not
or
as
whoever.
an individual.
Yeah, no. They just, what can you make money for them? How can, stuff like that. And then they'll tell you, for instance, weight class. This person's going to be whatever. And then turns out they're going to be 25 pounds heavier than that.
And they know you depleted.
And it's like, well, sorry, this is your only opponent that we can get you or whatever, or stuff like that.
We know you worked hard.
Yeah, so, do you still want to be a part of the show kind of deal? And it's like, man, that's kind of one of those lame tricks that happens a lot to people, or they don't tell you the full record of the person, or there's a million ways that someone could be taken advantage of, especially in a fight kind of environment. In jiu-jitsu, it's like, you lost the jiu-jitsu match. It's not that big of a deal. But if it's something where you can get like head trauma and knocked unconscious, that's pretty serious to me. That makes the stakes very high.
Which in CJJ is edging towards that.
No, it is. It definitely is. No, it is. And that's why you need to understand the rules very well. And as a promoter, whoever's promoting stuff like that, you need to be very clear with the athletes what the rules are. Because okay, that guy's a nice guy maybe, and he's a good guy, but he just knocked this kid out standing up. And like chipped his tooth apparently too. So like he permanently
Evan
altered.
definitely did not look like he expected it
No,
at all.
no, of course not. His hands were down, looking to wrestle.
Looking to wrestle.
Like, yeah. I mean, of course. So now he's got brain trauma. He's had at least one concussion at this point now, which, okay, cool. Everybody's like, okay, he's fine. You know, he's just a flash. It's like, no, I mean, no. We're talking about head trauma. We've talked about this in the last several years. People are starting to learn that it's not okay. So you were arguing to run it back within 30 minutes or whatever. It's like, okay, so you give this person a concussion, and now you're going to give them time to, quote, recover, and then put them back out there to potentially get another concussion or more with getting hit again. It's not smart. So thankfully, Matt Scaff was there with Evan, who's a great black belt. And, you know, it was like, hell no, you know, we're not going to let this happen and go down, because how many times have you seen in a back room somewhere somebody shouldn't have been out there and they got hurt, you know, or in boxing, those, you know, guys that keep getting sent back out after they've been knocked down and
he's good.
They're punch drunk or whatever. It's not okay. You know, that stuff's not okay. It's not okay. Like, and most of us are too tough for our own good. Most of us will gladly go out there and take that to prove that we will do it.
That we're tough enough.
And you know what I mean? Because you don't want to be seen as less than if you're in one of these environments, one of these realms as a competitor and stuff like that. You don't want to be the guy that can't take it or whatever, or won't come out there, you know, or whatever. But, dude, brain trauma is not a joke. Getting a concussion is not jokes. Repeated concussions in a short amount of time can lead to serious, serious trouble for some people. It's not the move to make. So you need a coach for sure if you're going to be fighting that knows what they're talking about, that knows what they're doing, and that knows when enough is enough. Like, it's dangerous. Combat jiu-jitsu is a lot less dangerous than MMA because the strikes are on the ground already. The way that strike was thrown with his hands down, he was loose. He wasn't really tense for
his jaw took the entire blunt.
Yeah, that's how knockouts happen, the good ones. And so, if you know how to strike, you want to clip them like that. You don't want to land a blunt like blow with your hand. You want to clip that chin jaw line to make that snap. Like, and that's how you knock people out. If that was an MMA fight, that would have been a nice KO finish, because anything after that was about to be devastating.
Just follow-ups.
Yeah, just anything else. The video playback, you can clearly see that the guy was striking before the knee was even down at all.
He hadn't even made the motion.
There was
to go down.
Yeah, so the rules kind of need to be, again, you know, this is on the promotion, I guess, maybe, or the referee or whoever. We, as a community or whatever, if we're doing these kind of events, you as a coach, whoever, need to go to the other coaches or somebody and make sure we're all on the same page, and that you know and I know at least what we're doing with the rule, you know, with these things like this, the way that these accidents don't happen.
But every time they try to unify the rules, like, we end up with 3 more segments of different rules.
I mean, that again, and so that's the thing. Whatever the rules are, if you want to fight, then go do MMA. Yeah. Like, if you want to stand up and hit people, go do MMA. Combat jiu-jitsu is to cut out the stand-up striking part,
so that we can examine jiu-jitsu under pressure.
The ground. That's the point. It's not for the stand-up part. That's not what it's for. If you want to do go do kickboxing. If you want to do stand-up, if you want to get your stand-up on, go do that. You know, it's not even aggressive clubbing. You know, that was that was a strike. You know, so there's different ways to do all these things, and it's not, I don't know. The rules are definitely a problem, because, like you said, there's different rules for every different tournament, everywhere you go. There is no unification.
They'll switch them up on you in the back. They'll be like, oh, wait, we changed it. We're only doing 1 overtime, not 2.
Right. And then, so that's the thing. It's not, if you're getting hit, it all really matters.
Yep. Like,
if you can take damage to your head from strikes, you definitely need to know which ones where and how. That's super, super important. If you're just doing a jiu-jitsu match, just, you know, the points are kind of important. You know, what submissions are legal or illegal are kind of important, you know, for sure. But if you're at a black belt, pretty much everything's legal. Don't be like, you know, obviously eye gouging people, fishing. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like there's clearly defined rules once you're competing at a high enough level. And if not, then guess what? You tell white belts at their first tournaments all those weird things. Like you have to, like somebody's coach has to tell them those things sometimes, like those like really dirty techniques sometimes. If somebody doesn't understand that that's illegal, you can't do that, you know. So you need to go through, and you need to have a good coach that can tell you, this is what you can do, this is what you can't do. You know, these are the rules. It's not just it's not an MMA fight when you go out to the Naga. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not out here slapping fools up to win Naga. You know, you're trying to grapple. So go grapple. Go get into a wrestling match or go pull guard and get into it, whatever you want to do. But you're not hitting people. It's not, you know what I mean? You're not dropping elbows on people to win a Naga.
You're not trying to kill somebody.
Right.
Basically.
It's not that big of a deal.
You're kind of trying to kill somebody. But
Yeah, but not really. Like not striking them and not like, I don't know, man. You're trying to do jujitsu. You know, I don't know. I don't know. That's at least, you know, that's the way I see it. And if you have a good coach, they'll kind of help you through that. And some jiu-jitsu is rough and it's hard. I get that's tough. It's a thing. But like, you know what I'm saying? It's like people that are dropping like elbows on people's necks or putting your elbow like on their jaw and like just cranking your elbow on their jaw.
Yeah.
It's like, that can be effective grappling, right? But how much of that is really good for you to be doing? And is it really conducive to what you're really trying to get across sometimes?
yeah,
Like
the mouth covers and the smothers.
I mean,
and
they're funny.
Yeah.
They, you know, and like to a degree, I get that it's effective, but then, like, again, are you fish hooking someone when you're doing that?
Yeah.
Are you?
I'm making mental notes while you're smothering me. Like if you get your hand over my mouth, I'm gonna remember that.
I'm gonna grab you very aggressively, but I'm not gonna intentionally hit you.
No.
My knee may hit you in the body when I'm coming in for certain positions and I'm leading, you know, with my knee to do it because that's the most technical way to do it. And we collide, you know what I mean? That's how it goes down sometimes. But I'm not going to intentionally knee you in the face during a jiu-jitsu match.
No.
And maybe I'm soft, maybe I'm a buster or whatever to some people because I'm not willing to like hurt somebody over a Naga anymore. I mean, I used to. That's what I'm saying. I was telling the story the other day or this morning maybe to a couple of the guys that we're talking about, you know, just giving payback to people or whatever, and how I've jumped in a tournament because somebody was coaching their girl to be really rough on Mandy with like grinding elbows on her face and stuff like that. And I knew they were in the tournament. So I just signed up for the tournament and went there and beat them all and like ripped their faces with like a face crank just to like prove that I could be a bigger jerk, you know? So I get it. I know what that's like. I know what it's like to be that guy that wants to go out there and like, you know.
But is it not just like it's almost a better marker for where they are on their journey? You're like, oh, okay, I know where you're at. I know what
Now
you're
it
trying
is.
to prove.
Now it is. But then at the same time, you got somebody out here who at that point, Mandy was just jumping into that tournament so that
Just to-
girl could have a match.
I got
She
you.
didn't have an opponent. And so it was like, yeah, man, you can kind of roll a little bit. Go out there and do it. And then, you know, they're telling her to like grind on her face with elbows and her jaw and stuff like that on her neck and then laughing about it and stuff. And it's like, come on, you little nerds. Like, you want to see what it's like when somebody does that stuff. It's not okay. It's not cool to do this. Like, yeah, it can be effective, right? But it's not a good time, you know, like when it's all said and done.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to send you to the hospital after a jiu-jitsu match. I don't want your face to be bleeding.
So this may be two different answers because there would be the answer from that Steven and then there would be the answer from the Steven now. When is the right time?
Like, if that's what I mean is like, if you're out there competing, what are the stakes? If if it's a little local tournament or whatever, or something that you may win like a medal, like a little cheap medal or something that's not really a big deal. It's not a professional event. I don't think it's that serious. I don't think there's a reason to go that far on people. You just kind of be prepared that some people may do it to you, but I don't think that you really need that to compete or whatever, like in jiu-jitsu. I just don't.
Yeah.
You know, but if you're a professional and you're going to fight MMA or maybe do combat jiu-jitsu or something like that, then yeah, maybe you need to develop a little bit more of that strong style, that rough style. So I'm talking about, that's the thing, like I've kind of turned off a lot of the stuff that I do where I'm talking about fighting versus when I'm talking about what I do when I do jiu-jitsu. And most of what I do now is just jiu-jitsu. I don't really do a lot of the MMA stuff anymore. Like I kind of talk about it and put some of it in perspective a little bit. But the philosophy for me mostly is trying to be like the jiu-jitsu way, which is more of the, you know, like yielding way, not being so aggressive, not always being the hammer, you know, whereas the person that's going to want to grind their elbow into your jaw or neckline and make you tap from something like that is going to be, they're going to be a little bit more aggressive. You know, they're not really looking to do that type of philosophy of grab. You know what I mean? They're being rough and they want to hurt you. They want to make you feel crappy. And like, oh, so this is, okay, it's super funny. Like, I would rather, instead of doing that, instead of taking my elbow and maybe like grinding your face or your neck or your jaw to get a tap, I would rather move around enough positions that you just get frustrated or you just get tired or twisted up in some kind of way that you give up. I would rather just kind of frustrate you than hurt you.
Yeah, I feel like the grind is they're trying to accomplish the same thing, but they're taking a shortcut.
Yeah.
While they think they are still doing the same thing, and they are essentially still doing jiu-jitsu, but
to a degree, yeah.
Not the jiu-jitsu to the point of like its purest form, which is the point, right?
Right, I get. Yeah, for sure. To me, at least, whatever. Like, and I guess that ideal is gonna slide time to time, you know, based on where you are in your journey. And it's kind of one of the things too is talking about with doing some of the flows before with the head and arm. It's like before the PGF stuff, we didn't really do a lot of head and arms at the school. Like we didn't really talk about it a lot, but now I talk about it a lot because I think, you know, it's super effective and I know how to do it very well. And just because I've gotten bored with it doesn't mean that the students should be robbed of the opportunity to get bored with it by doing it so much.
That's what I was gonna say. It's like it's all new to them.
Yeah, there's some of them are like I have.
It's new to me on some of this stuff.
One of the guys bought a private lesson on finishing head and arms, and I was like, "Oh, wow, okay, cool. I mean, yeah, for sure, dude. That
would be a great class to
I
take
could
from
go
you.
deep on that, but to me, it's just like that's funny. Like it's just a head and arm.
I've never even thought about it
It's
that
just
deeply.
it's just a head and arm. Like you know what I mean? It's like you just but there are like that's the thing is like you can talk about an arm triangle where you just get in there and lock in and squeeze and blah blah blah.
One of the favorite things that you do, and maybe there's others that do this, but like one of the things that I've seen you do is like you'll sit there and you'll do the move like and you've described this in the way that you do it with like somebody like the one that at your gym that you've described, Jamie, of these phenoms. You're like, all right, do your thing and let me see. You'll also do the move in front of people and then you'll let them sit there and go, okay, what were you doing right there? And then you'll talk about that one moment of like this spot right here. What were you doing? Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. I put my foot here, this, that, and that.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you didn't even cover that. Like, yeah.
That's part of the process. Like, and sometimes I haven't even thought it all the way through. That's the thing. Like sometimes I'm just reacting, and that's most of what I'm doing.
But you'll let a room full of white belts pick it apart, is what I'm saying. Like you'll do something and you'll let a room full of white belts like ask you questions about your move, how you moved, and they'll be like, so why did you do this? And then you'll explain it. I've never seen anybody do that.
I think it's important because some people that's their learning style. Some people that's the only way they understand is if they can get the why. Like they need a why. Without a why, they won't do it. They can't physically comprehend it without understanding why. Some people just won't be able to do stuff. If they ask you why and you can't give them a good why, they won't do it. I've read several books that talk about stuff like that. And so
But you keep that blame from being on them. How do you do that as a coach? Or have you even thought about it?
It's not about blame.
I mean, okay, bad word. I more have meant like most of the time when somebody asks why, in the way of just like why, that gets mocked or chastised. Whereas like you'll go, oh, okay, why? all right, let's see why. Like,
Well-
that's what I mean.
Well, because I think they're being genuine.
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
they're genuinely curious, and then if you like, that's the thing is like if you're genuinely curious, then I want to help you out and give you the answer that you're looking for, and especially if it's something that I can answer really quickly, then I'm down for it. And then
Becca chimed in and said, "Yep." By
it's-
the way, she's one of the wise. I know.
I know. No, she is. And it's like, it's not that frustrating. It's not. Sometimes it's frustrating when it's that some people ask a question because they want you to give their answer and you don't. And then they want to, then it's like, but I want it this way. And it's like, well, that's not the way it is. But yeah, like you, as an instructor, as a teacher or a coach or whatever, you got to be able to meet your people where they are. You got to get to their level. You know what I mean? I can't expect you to learn at where I'm at. I have to meet you where you are. And again, kind of like that thing, I can't rob you of that opportunity of some of those very simple wins that were, like, I guess, very instrumental to my overall development. Things that I've just kind of discarded along the way, that I just kind of stopped doing because I got hyper focused on the truck, or I got hyper focused on rubber guard, or I got hyper focused on doing lockdown or avoiding leg locks or spider guard. Once I learned that as a purple belt when I was wearing the gi still, like, why the hell was I trying to do that? I don't know, because I thought it was cool. Whatever, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, so I never felt happy when someone couldn't tell me why. So I guess being that person, now I understand it. Like, if somebody I need to know that sometimes. And like, if you were here, you were there at Gabe's seminar when he was here teaching, but like in San Diego, we had to deal with that a lot because there'd be higher level people, quote, than us sometimes in our classes based on what other people would think about whatever, but they were learning from us. And so they would have a way that they like to do it, or they would ask, why not this way? And so you needed to know why not.
You needed an answer.
Like, yeah, or then sometimes you lose credibility. But it was okay to have your answer as, I don't know why I would choose this over that, except for personal preference maybe. And that was a cool thing to learn, is that sometimes that's literally all it is. Sometimes in a moment it's just personal preference. And so when this is that woo-woo stuff again, but like, as an artist, you have to make it your own, so if you're operating within the rules of the system, then who am I to tell you what your art should look like, as long as it fits the system? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to look exactly like mine. You don't have to use the same order of operation I use if you get to your conclusion and it's successful. If it works for you, then that's what works. That's the way to do it. Like, I can't physically make someone do something that they physically can't do. And then if you need, like, it's a part of it is like this thing where everybody's different, and like, we're trying to learn some guard passing last month. And so everybody at our school, for the most part, white and blue belts. That's our heaviest numbers. Mostly white belts. And then we have guys like you, and then Taylor, and then Joe, who's a brown belt, who've kind of crossed over from other places. But you guys are like, not.
I've had to learn the 10th planet lingo. Like, I've seen positions and done stuff, but like, it's been a learning curve.
It's different,
for me.
yeah, because you're taking off the gi a lot more than you had been before previously. But it's just the thing of like playing the different guards that other people play. Like, I'm teaching you how to pass a few guards the basic way that you're kind of needing to right now. But then, like, Zach, for instance, went to Decatur to train with you guys, and Scaff was like leg pummeling over his thing, and he was just like, well, how do you like stop this or whatever? And it was like, oh man, dang, it's something simple.
Yeah.
A lot of times, but we just haven't had to approach it yet as a school, because we don't have enough high level guard players every day that are doing stuff like that yet. And it's not that we're not learning skills that are like teaching people to do stuff like that sometimes. It's just not where we're at overall. Like there's still, literally yesterday was a year. So
some people there, a lot of them are under a year.
most
and some-
everybody. That's what I mean. Like
yeah.
if you look at it, of the people, like I posted the picture of the first day's class, and Becca, Zach, and David were in the first class, those three. And then there were some other people that were there within the first couple of days. But then most of the people have came in like months after we had opened, not days like some of them. So we got a core group of people who now all feel like they started together, but like within the grand scheme of it, yeah, there's people that are like 6 months in or 4 months in, or like Travis, who's been with us for like 3 or 4 months. You know what I mean? Compared to someone like, you know, David and Zach, who's been there for a year. That gap from 0 to 6 months or 0 to a year is huge compared to that gap from a year to 2 years or 2 years to 3 years. Stuff like that. You can start really closing in.
Oh, you're an old head when you cross 4 years, right?
For sure. So we're developing, dude. We're developing. I think we're doing a good job talking to other people in other schools, like numbers game wise, like based on like number of students, we're doing pretty good for a year. You know, we're over 50, you know, that are members. So that's good. There's schools that have been open a lot longer that are at that number. So we're doing good with that. Yeah. So this again, I'm glad to be out of the killing season, so to say, like we talked about with Brandon.
Warrior in a garden, right?
Yeah, man. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. But I don't want to go out there and have to do all that hard shit every day. I don't want to have to go do all the heavy lifting every day. Not like that. I'm ready to like let other people do it and have their shine. I'm ready to let other people have their shine in that way. Like I would like to be there for them. I want to help guide them and mentor them. Like I said, I want to be people's advocate. I want to be an advocate for people who don't understand things. I want to help people have their own voice, kind of. If they don't, I want to be their voice for them when someone's trying to like put them in a bad spot and stuff like that. I want to help teach my people not to have to be small. You don't have to be small just because that makes other people comfortable. You can do it. You can do it your way, even if they're smarter than you, quote, or they've done it their way before and it worked. Just because somebody's done it a way before that worked, that doesn't mean that your way is still not better. There's always innovative ways to change things and do things differently. So like, I'm looking for those kind of people on our team, and I think we're getting a lot of those kind of people, man. So I like the questioners, but because the questioners innovate. The people who need to know why, they're the ones that work innovation. They're the ones that fix things. And if they're not fixing it, they're at least trying to understand it, and then that helps me fix it, whatever it is. And then when I see something, then I have it too. Like that's what I'm saying. Once they create it or whatever, or once we're all doing it, then it's mine too. You know, we all get it. It's not just mine. It's not just theirs. Once we do it in the room together, it's all of ours. It's something that we all get to have. So there's not many other things that are like that, I guess. Like typically you go somewhere, and if you're all in on something, you divide the pot or whatever it is. You split up whatever it is, kind of, and then everybody takes a portion of it. But when you all come together, like in jiu-jitsu, you multiply what you're putting forward. And when you leave with more than you came with. Everybody does. Everybody leaves with more. Not just the one taker, or, you know, how you split into a smaller portion again of quarters or whatever. Like everybody should take a bigger piece of the pot every time. So it's that thing that we all got to be working on and doing. And then that'll help make everything else work. The competitors will come. Everybody, if you want that, they'll come. The good guys, the good people, that's who you want. And that's who we're trying to get. And it's working, dude. It's working. So I'm super hyped up.
Bet.
I'm super, super excited. Yeah, really quick, if we can, just give a shout out to Zach Edwards and the Pacemaker Jiu-Jitsu. I don't have the shirt because I just
It's a
wanted
dope
to,
shirt.
No, I just
picked it up.
No, yeah, that's the thing, is like I should have got a shirt, but I just donated anyway. So if you guys want to donate, look up Backcountry Leg Locks, BJJ, right?
Yeah,
On
_BJJ.
Instagram. Yeah, on Instagram. It's Zach Edwards, man. He's the homie. Donate, please, to him. He's having a tough time, man. We love Zach. We were hoping to get him over here to work with us a little bit and be on staff some, hopefully teaching some stuff. So we definitely wish him the best, man. I really hate that this is happening for him. If you can, you see fit to donate. If you want to grab the shirt, you can grab the shirt also, so that way you'll have a really cool shirt to represent for our boy. And also just please like share it if you see any of the posts about that to help him out, because I was like, those are the things that are really important, right? Like kind of like I was saying, the community is what's important. The people that we care about, that's what's important, man. The jiu-jitsu is all secondary. The good jiu-jitsu is going to be there. The people, you need the good people. You need to care about your people. And we need to be who we say we're going to be in these times when somebody's having a tough time. And so let's don't forget about him. Hit him up. Send any messages to him, goodwill. Obviously, some financial support because he's had to have multiple heavy types of surgery. So dig into that if you can. There's a GoFundMe and stuff. So just thank you guys. And then again, for personal stuff, just want to thank the Musgrove Trial Firm for jumping on board and throwing some sponsorship down for us, because they're going to help support this. They're going to help support the Mid-South Classic. They're going to help support Costa Rica with it. Then for that, thank you to Isaac here, Blind Linker Productions, Peach Podcast Syndicate, Parkway Automotive Studios. We're going to try to get after it this year for everybody that's jumping on board with us. Dogfight Dojo, Supernatural Survivor Gear. Man, this is the Dream Show Live. Y'all need to get with it, man. We're doing big things. Much love.
One, two.